Welcome back, CSE 102 class, to part 2 of our WD06 research paper for Spring 2020. And this is going to be the Mac version. So if you have the Mac version, this one is for you. But I'm going to do this one first because this is more familiar, and I'll probably get less frustrated doing all the stuff that I need to do here before I do it on the Windows side, because I'm not as familiar doing that, especially doing it on my Mac computer. So anyway, here's the instructions that I have. This is from the first page here, and I have the instructions, and I'm going to have to download this file, which I do have here, so you can get it right here. And here it is. So I'll just download it. I'll just right click and do save link as. And I'll just save it to my desktop for the time being. And I'll just put my name here, and I'll save it like that to my desktop. And there it is. It actually opened up. So this is what it's going to look like when you first get it, and it'll look like this on Windows as well. Notice there's some places here. These are like placeholders for your citations. Now I put them in blue just so you can see them. They're not going to stay in blue, and they're not going to keep the brackets on that. So just be aware of that. All right, so let's go back to our instructions and see what we're doing here. We downloaded it. We got to reset all the page margins to 1. We're going to make everything 12 point Times New Roman. Everything will be double spaced, and then we're going to update the title page info, including your name, the current date, and all that. We're going to center the title line, and then add the first line indent, and then we're going to add a page number up at the top, which is a little tricky on a Mac, so that'll be interesting. We can remove the header from the first page, and I don't do this stuff every day, so I may stumble through this a little, but that's okay, because you may as well. So I'm going to try to do all this in the first video, and then we'll move on to the second part where we put in our sources. So now that I have this open, again, this stuff should be easy. So I'm going to go click in here anywhere. And if you're on a Mac, you do Command A. If you're on Windows, do Control A. And I'm going to make sure that everything is Times New Roman. And that should come up. Everybody should have Times New Roman. Make sure everything's 12 point. And then also, I should have done this first, but make sure you go to Layout and make sure your margins are 1 inch all around. And normal is 1 inch all around. So I'll choose that. Now my margins are okay. And also make sure that you don't have any, and I think I have it taken out already, but if you ever start a paper from scratch, make sure you have no before and after for spacing. That's an imperative, that you don't have paragraphs that have space after. So anyway, I'm going to go back to my home page, and I'm going to make everything double spaced. Now on a Mac, you don't have a paragraph settings button here. You have to go here and go to line spacing options, and I'm going to make everything double spaced. You just have to go here and make it double, and that's it. And then what you're going to do with this line here is you're just going to center that. And then everything here down, and you could scroll down, or you could do it all and then take it off the first, whatever you want to do. You can highlight all this. If you have a problem highlighting it, you can do it all and then turn off the first line indent. But what you're going to do with all the body copy, and note it's the body copy after the title, is you're going to do a first line indent. And the easiest way is if you can grab this little arrow here and just move that over. You can do that. Just give it a half line first indent. If you had a problem doing that, you could just go to here, go to line spacing options, and they have a special indent, which is first line, just like on Windows, and it's a ½ inch, so you could do that as well. So I'll hit OK. So all my paragraphs, and notice I have my formatting on so I could see the paragraph returns. They all have a first line indent. That means you don't have to hit tab. Some people will hit a tab here, but if you put a first line indent on those paragraphs, that's what it's for. All right, now this is our title area up here, and I'm just going to put my name, and I'm going to make myself be Steve Smith. And my professor is Richard Homan. This is my section. Today's date. Now, you could just put in today's date, whatever it is. If you want to insert it, you can go to Insert, and let's see where it is on a Mac. They have Insert Date somewhere here. That little thing there. See that? Insert time and date. So it's real tiny, but there it is. And I should do it like this, March 19th, 2020, I believe. And if you're not sure, go back here and look at your sample again. If you're not sure, just look at your sample. And how is it here? It's March 19th, 2020. So it's just like that. So that's fine. You could do it like that. So the simplest kind of way, I'll choose this one and I'll insert it, and there it is. Now you could certainly type it, but I have that inserted. So that's fine. I have that set up. And then what I'm going to do, everything else is okay so far. Just remember, make sure you don't have a first line indent on this. Make sure that's just left justified. And we're going to put a header in here. So we could just double click up here. So double click in this area. And all that I'll do, now there's a couple ways to do this, but let's try this first. Let's go to insert page number, and I'll just say page number. And I'll say on the right. Okay, now there it is. Now here's the issue. It's hard to put your name in here because they put it in a little box here. And so what I'll do, I think this will be easier, is I'll click over here and I'll put my last name, Homa, and I'll make sure, even though you type it here, it doesn't always put it in Times New Roman. So go to your Home tab and make sure it's in Times New Roman. And then try this. Try to just align it right. And that's all you should have to do. And even in here, I would recommend highlighting that. And you see how that's Cambria? Make sure that's Times New Roman too. And that should be fine. And it's 12 point, so everything's 12 point. That should be fine. You shouldn't have to worry about anything. That'll appear on every page like that. And if there's a little space like that, you shouldn't have any issue, because on a Mac, that's the way it's going to create it. As long as you have your last name and your page number, that's all you need. Oh, and actually, my name is Smith. That's my instructor's name. See, my instructor is Richard Homa. I'm Steve Smith, so that's my name there. So I'm going to put that there. Now to get out of the header, I'm going to double click here, and that's it. So my paper is formatted. So this is the title area. This is the title. This is the header with page numbers, and just make sure that as you go on each page, they should be updating. And that's all you should need for your formatting. So this is formatted. So what we'll do next in the next video for the Mac version is we're going to use EasyBib. I'm going to try out EasyBib, and we're going to try to do our bibliography and our in-text citations, which are these here. So we're going to do that on the next video. So I'll save what I have here, and then we're going to try that out in the next video.